Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Major Minor. Before we start, if you want to play this game, it's on Steam for free. Anyways, on the last Let's Play, we talked with the rabbit guy for a little bit, but that was unimportant. Then went to go talk. Well, actually, we talked more with the that one assassin who said don't trust the bear guy because he wants to get in on the money. Then I talked to the bear guy in the den who's like, hey, you should not trust the king because he's a bad guy. And also, what's his name? I might need to look it up. Kylie or whatever, basically that pink-haired fox guy or whatever, the femboy, was working for the bear guy to spy on the king, but then the king found out and had him do a mission that would get him caught by the other guy, which would have him be starved to death. So the bear's asking me to help him, and then back on Earth, no wait, oh yeah, also the blue squirrel guy came along with us, apparently. The bear guy got him and was like, hey, he's here too. Also on Earth, the otter guy was talking to a new person, the other member of the band we hadn't seen yet, to ask him to talk to him about stuff, mainly like try to console, but also be like, hey, are you going to continue doing the what is it? Do the band stuff. And he's like, I'll think about it. Then he talked to Daz, who is going to be the new lead, and talking about the murders, and the police are not going to be doing that. It's weird how this is different from like Winds of Change, because in Winds of Change I could spend an entire Let's Play being like, well, we talked to this guy about their opinions on stuff. And this one it's like, okay, I'm gonna need a long list right here. I mean, I loved Winds of Change. This one, it's just a lot. I completely forgot about the squirrel guy too. Anyways, earlier in Singe's office. What do you mean he's gone? Just like it sounds. I can't find him anywhere. He might as well have vanished. How convenient. Oh yeah, the bodyguard's disappeared. Found a letter in his room though. It simply reads, I'm sorry. An admission of guilt perhaps? It doesn't seem that way. If he did this, he wouldn't be sorry. In fact, he wouldn't leave anything behind. It seems to be more of a genuine apology. Perhaps he's ashamed that he failed us. It was his duty to protect Claes after all. I think the letter is from his resignation. He wouldn't face us again after this. He couldn't. Or maybe he has to throw us off the trail. Also, why isn't this guy wearing any shirt? Not even sure if he's wearing pants. Throw us off the trail. Now he'll just go live in silence. We need to hunt him immediately. You know, as a idol agency. That's pretty far-fetched theory. I don't mean any offense, Singe. Far-fetched. Coming from you? A bird? Ha! Tits? Likely. I thought you realized you relished in far-fetched. Things being both alive and dead at once. You write about quantum mechanics all day. And you say my theory is far-fetched. At least I've based mine on reality. I'm sorry, Jade. That was rude of me. It's just been a really long night. I don't think it'll end anytime soon. I'll accept your apology. You're under extreme duress after all. Thank you. So, what do we do now? I think we just move on with our lives. There's not much else we can do. We'll just pay attention to the media reports. We're not detectives. We're not police. We can't be expected to solve this, Singe. We have to drop it and leave it to them. If only it were that simple. I do agree, but we can't just sit around. The tour isn't going to run itself. We have lots to do, and so little time. First and foremost, a new bodyguard. We need to hire some protection. Not just for Daz, but for everyone. I have a few candidates gathered here. I went on a little hunt for CVs. I've already run the background checks. Thank you, Jade. You're helping me stay sane. I don't know what I'd do without you. Don't mention it. I'm just doing what you pay me for. I recommend the candidate name Acheron? His past experience is very impressive. And he has the perfect track record. Very well. I'd like to see him. Can you call him here immediately? I'm sure he'll understand our predicament. Of course, Singe. But one more thing. What should we do with the contest winners? The sun will rise soon, and I have no idea. I have completely forgotten. It's always something, isn't it? Bring them to me when they wake up, okay? I'll decide what to do when I meet them. This has turned into one huge headache. He takes a deep breath and places his face in his hands. So, like, hearing the whole dead alive thing makes me again think that what's his name? Clace or whatever, that the whole transportation, ritual, quantum mechanics basically killed him in this world to send him to another world, you know? Which might explain Winds of Never mind. It might be better just to send him home. I mean, there was a bit of a spoiler thing. I forgot that this doesn't come direct. I'm not posting this directly after Winds of Change. This is going to be kind of posted alongside of it. I stare in shock at what seems like an eternity. My mind is bombarded with impossible questions. Also, we haven't saved since we've come down into the basement. Like what? Maybe 30 minutes ago at least? Bombarded with questions. A cacophony of thoughts and voices assault my mind. Also, how is this guy able to keep quiet for that long and hidden? How on earth did Keela end up in terror just like that? Hey, are you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost. Well, I feel like I am staring at a ghost right now. This is the last person I expect to see on Terra. I've sooner expected to see Clace or Keela than Keela. Snap out of it, okay? There's lots to talk about here. That much was true. I'm snapped back to reality. Perhaps a thorough explanation of this can help me. Because right now, I'm still wondering why Keela's here. I decided that this was a good question to start with. Well, I remember one last thing. We're in a hotel watching some TV, where they reported that Clace was killed. Riley's ears perk up at the mention of the name Clace. At least, that's what it seemed like to me, so he must be alive. It's possible he was confused with the word TV. But then, all I remember from Tokyo, that's all I remember from Tokyo. As quick as I saw that, I was here. I thought I was hallucinating or something. I panicked and eventually collapsed. I ate a face full of soil embarrassingly, but that's okay because I'm a squirrel. I was on the ground for a really long time. It is until this guy found me. I offered to suck it. Never mind. He motions his hand towards Riley. Yeah, that's how it happened. I didn't think the ritual would bring two, so as soon as I could, I snatched Keela up. I was too late in time by the time you came. Endemilion and Conrad already got you. Our only option was to watch and sneak. I had to find the chance to get you alone. That's why I invited you down here to talk. Keela told me a lot about you as well. Can I continue now? Yes, of course. Riley told me of his side of the story. Let me just say, it makes way more sense. I think you're following the wrong guys. Emilian and Conrad are too gullible. They believe anything the king says. They don't even realize that they're slaves. I'm not sure. Sorry. It's kind of late and reading does make me yawn for some reason. I'm not sure how to make this any clearer. The king does want Lord Pilar to lose, but this Kylan matter is totally separate. There are blatant holes in their orders, but they're too loyal to the king to see. They followed without a single objection. But Riley here thinks before he acts. He's not a thrall to this Velasquez. I think he's a good guy here, Dark. What do you think? Do you have my back, don't you? I actually don't know what to think. I'm so confused. Some of this makes sense. Some of this is outrageous. I start to piece it all together in my head. Keela didn't mention an arc. Must be specific to me. It makes sense that he got here before me then. The man in the arc did intercept Keela's trip? Didn't intercept Keela's trip. I still have no idea why Keela was brought here. Is it just because he was beside me when I was taken? I explained everything to Keela. He had a revelation about the ritual. He said that your world suffers from it. Revelation? Oh, right. I nearly forgot about that. This whole world and the ritual, it ties into the Midnight Deaths. Your two friends, Emilian and Conrad, the ritual they're performing, it's the sole cause of the Midnight Deaths. Interesting line of thought. I asked them to elaborate. I want to see if his thoughts line up with my own. Geez, are we getting back to, like, what, early 90s or 80s music? Is the Terminator here? Well, the ritual was once a day, and it had to be at the same time, too. Same rules as the Midnight Deaths. There's a time difference, though. Midnight on Earth would be daytime here. Regardless, the ritual steals an Earthling. And then the Earthling comes here, and when the Earthling comes here, they die. At least, they do on Earth. For some reason, they live on Terra. There's no other explanation, so we're probably dead on Earth. It makes sense, but there are a few glaring holes. We're brought here after midnight. We were brought here after midnight. We were still able to hear the news of Clace's death. I challenged his theory with that fact. Hey, you're right. In that case, I don't know. Furthermore, his theory assumes some odd things. First of all, Clace is alive and well on Terra. Second, that we are both dead on Earth. I decided not to tell him about the Ark. Play alongside his process of thought. If his theories were true, there would be 3 rituals. One for Clace, one for him, and one for me. I direct that challenge to Riley. It was only ever performed once a day. Those were Velasquez's strict orders. I don't think they would disobey him. Can't be coincidence, though. They're way too similar to ignore. You and I here is proof of that, R. A small timing issue can't prove me wrong. Everything still kind of lines up. It's not true at all. Clace isn't with us. And Riley says the ritual only has ever been performed once. I poke holes all over Keela's theory. I mean, come on, it's a hypothesis. There has to be a reasonable explanation. Magic? I don't know. Future tech? Perhaps the ritual brought all of you. Once you arrived at different speed, but you just arrived at different speed or traveled, this would explain the difference. No, it can't be that. We were still on Earth past midnight. Let me think about this for a moment. Got it. You know the news report? It was on TV an hour after Case's death. What if the time on Terra moves faster? If 1 hour here is 1 day there, well, it explains everything perfectly. One hour there is 1 day here. So would it be like a suicide throughout the world every midnight? Explains everything perfectly. The ritual of another day brought us here. It also explains why I never saw Clace. We came here a day later than he did. He could be anywhere by now, you know? It's possible. I'm not overtly huge difference. Besides, Emilian and Conrad did talk about time's flow. I still dislike the implication that we're both dead. But some of this is just wishful thinking. We don't know the specifics of either world, namely the amount of rituals and midnight deaths. If we did, we'd be taking steps in the right direction. But again, there are too many coincidences at play. I'd have to stop considering the deaths a mystery right now. We need specifics, but it clearly involved Terra. Couldn't we just write this down and, figure it out by ear as we go along, There's a lot to theorize in the basement. Like at the moment. Clear involved Terra, and the king's ritual was the most probable cause. Keela believes the ritual was responsible. Endemilion and Conrad were the murderers. There is a logic behind the theory as well. Either way, we can't learn the truth. Not while chilling down in a wine cellar. I'm sure you can agree with me on that one. Riley cracks his knuckles loudly. He then stares down at me menacingly. One very important question remains. One that you can answer here and now. Who do you believe? Will you go back upstairs? Will you travel with Emilian and Conrad, even though the king lies to all of you? Or will you come with us? Can we rescue Kalen and his team as a team? And his testimony will expose Velasquez? I can't guarantee your safety if you leave. I won't be able to watch over you anymore. But if you side with us, I'll keep you safe. We'll help Kalen reveal the king's motives. That way, that may be how you can really save Terra. Also, what's his name from Earth? They said they all were given to what's his name? The bad guy. The other bad guy. The one that wants to become king. We're under the hand of a tyrannical ruler. And maybe how So he's tyrannical? You're going to come with us, right? I mean, we're friends and stuff. It's a hard decision to make. If I sided against Emilian and Conrad, they'd hate me. Probably make enemies out of Velasquez's assassins. On the other hand, Galen might not have proof. The king may not be as bad as he rightly claims. There's also a risk of a rescue mission failing. That, and I have assassins out to get me. Well, they don't seem to be able to get at the guys that he's protecting, so siding with Riley and Keela seems very risky. I might not be able to complete my mission as savior. However, if I side with Emilian and Conrad, then Keela and Riley might become my enemies. Me and Conrad, why would they become my enemies, Me and Conrad will bring me right to the king. I'll be able to hear the plan from the man himself. This would be the easiest route for me to take, especially if I want to help the man in the Ark. What if Velasquez did want to use me for evil? There's a chance that meeting him could condemn me. Once we're face to face, he could do anything. And Emelian and Conrad had a secret agenda, they're assassins after all, not peacekeepers. This is a tough choice indeed. I wish they were as easy as the choices back in Tokyo. Maid cafes, stuff like that. Things getting far less black and white on Terra. I stand there in silence, thinking of what to say next. Yes, please. Oh, I thought we were like at 30 minutes, or plus. Jeez. Who do I believe? Who do I side with? Well, I'm gonna go with these guys, because I want to save the femboy fox, anyways. Well, I guess this does kind of... We didn't even see whether or not they got the mail yet, you know? I'm gonna side with these guys. Of course, it seems like the obvious choice. At least, I tell myself that as a method of reassurance. It wasn't my nature to let someone starve in prison, even if it meant losing track of the reason I'm here. I might not learn what the king wants this way, but at least I know I'd be saving something. And Keela trusts rightly. I should trust him too. I don't think Keela is the type to be easily manipulated. I don't know. But then, another thought crossed my mind. If you suddenly found yourself in a strange world, would you likely trust the first person that would help you? There's a point in time where you're impressionable. Maybe that's why I trusted Emelian and Conrad. Perhaps, if they got Keela, that he'd side with them too. I decided that I should quickly drop the thought. I will do nothing except make me doubt my choice. However, bridges will definitely get burnt. I could possibly make Emelian and Conrad be my enemy. I don't want that to happen. It's just a fact. If I ask Riley what our next step is, I would let him know my allegiance lies with them. Well, your choice makes me happy. I'm glad that you've seen the truth. But for now, we simply have to wait. This is really awesome. We get to be partners on Terra, too. Partners in crime. I smile. Things are starting to take shape. The huge uncertainty I felt earlier now fades away. I'd advise that you go back upstairs. Go about your business as you see fit, but perhaps stay away from the assassins. Sorry, yawn again. In the meantime, I will talk with Keela. Our assault on player's home needs planning. But know you've made an honorable choice. Of course he has. That's what he's good at. Perhaps I'll come speak with you later. But for now, I have to talk to Riley. He seems to want to input on for some reason. It's true. But you have to play a part to play. Pretend that you're still on their side. We'll make sure to find you when we need you. Kalen will suffer no longer, and Velasquez's tyrannical reign will end. This is your true duty as the savior. Both of them walk away, leaving me alone. I'll have to ponder the decision I just made. That and the consequences might come with it. Ponder, ponder, ponder. Various scenarios play out in my head. Some good, some horrific. They repeat as I make my way back upstairs. When I get back upstairs, I notice how loud it is. The tavern definitely has become more lively since I left. This place is absolutely littered with patrons. They all look incredibly happy amongst themselves. Much better than the faces I saw them wear earlier. At this moment, it seems Terra doesn't need saving. Of course, that feeling is ephemeral, as most are. I realize the happiness is most likely from the drink. Each of them holds an overflowing stein in their hands. They seem not to care how much they're spilling. I try to figure out my next course of action. Riley suggests I do not talk with Amelia and Conrad. Of course, they'd find it odd if I ignored them, especially if I just came from talking to their enemy. Perhaps I should just go make small talk. I'll tell them Riley tried to sell stuff to me. Could see if they mentioned anything about their mail. If the box was empty, then Riley would be correct. Of course, that would be nothing to reveal about. It would mean the fact that Kaylin was in trouble. Not the kinds of trouble we could ignore. If anybody was equipped to rescue Kaylin, it had to be Riley. He is both strong and smart. I was glad to see his goals align with mine. We wanted to learn the truth about Velasquez. Hey there. Surprised at all the people? I nod. People seem to forget what we are. At night, we turn into a watering hole. No immigration papers to be found. Not that it bothers me, of course. Everyone is on some journey of their own. We cater to every type of person. People who've come a long way to be here, or people who still have a long way to go. Anyways, I saw you go downstairs. Must have had a chat with Riley. I nod once more. He always has something to say, that one. Sometimes I think he's bored. Sits around all day on his own. Do you want to have a drink? Me and Phidget were about to sit down. There's something we should talk about. We have our own special table. I wonder why he's interested in us. Anyways, well, because we're the savior, I guess. So we don't need to wait for any vacancies. He points to a nearby table in the corner of the tavern. I see Phidget sitting down, not spinning down. He's talking to himself. I shrug and say sure. I didn't have anything to lose. Great. Oh, and one more thing. While you're here, you drink for free. Nice. He starts walking towards the table and I follow. I wave to Amelia and Conrad as I pass them. I just want them to know that I'm not ignoring them. They wave back, with a nervous look on their faces. When we arrive at the table, I promptly sit down. I yawn loudly and stretch my arms. Kind of like I'm doing now. I've been doing this for hours. I mean, I'm enjoying the game. I'm really interested in what's going on and how it's connected to Winds of Change. But I'm also like, I haven't been sleeping great. And also, I have been reading for hours, out loud. Anyways, hopefully I can just relax for a while now. I haven't gotten to do much of that lately. Hey again, Dark. I sit there and wait for him to hold out his hand and then pull it away, but it doesn't do it this time. Interesting. So, I've heard you're the savior or something, and that's where you're meeting Velasquez. That is so cool. I wish I was as important like that. I haven't seen the king since I was little. I glance over at PB. So, he told Phidget then? He and Conrad surely wanted to keep it a secret. I guess PB was the type to talk. I needed to keep that in mind for the future. Hey, don't look at me like that. Don't contemn me for telling Phidget. That's my best friend, you know. And besides, what kind of threat is he? It's not like he would ever hurt somebody. That's my brother. Trust him forever. Fair enough. Dropping it for now. Don't tell secrets. Confidential shit. We had something to talk about, remember? I didn't take you over here to judge me. It's more like PB than this is more like the PB I saw earlier. Easily angered and extremely defensive. Are you gonna let me talk to you or not? I mean, I haven't said anything. I surrender and apologize for derailing the subject. Thank you. So, if you get back on track, I need to talk to you about Riley. I know what you two talked. I know that you two talked in the cellar. Jesus Christ. Oh, we talked but didn't say about what. Pretty sure I know what happened. He hates the King of Velasquez with a passion. This is one of the reasons I dislike Riley. That hatred totally clouds his judgment. Let me guess. He wanted to expose the king. He said he had some sort of evil plan. I nod. That was an actual apt summary. I'm going to lay this right out there. Velasquez has never hurt anybody. I've only known peace under his reign. Well, except for... I'll get there, Phidget. Just hold on. History of his rule goes back up millennia. He's been nothing but altruistic. I know that Riley is strong and smart, but on that matter alone, he's biased. And I really have no idea why. Phidget and I owe Velasquez so much. I don't know why he hired those assassins, but I trust his judgment unconditionally. I guess PB doesn't know that they always worked for him. I think that's why they're new to Velasquez's employ. I won't reveal this to him. It seems to be a secret. I wonder if the relationship had to do with this. Emilian and Conrad did mention they were almost a trio. Perhaps Velasquez did something to make him back out. I think Riley mentioned some sort of litmus test. Hey, you there? Phoebe Pratt snaps his fingers as if to jerk me out of my thought. I'm trying to talk to you here. It's rude to stop paying attention. He's right, and I apologize once more. This whole situation just gets more and more confusing. I don't know whose side is the right side. Now, if you'll let me continue. Riley used to work for Velasquez. What? Really? I don't mean casually or anything. Riley was Velasquez's go-to man. That's a surprise to me. I wonder what caused him to turn so drastically. There was an incident about 10 years ago. Me and Phidget were very young. Velasquez called it the Exodus Project. If you watch Winds of Change, that might ring a bell. Maybe not Project, but Exodus. Exodus. That name seems eerily familiar to me. I guess I'll need to explain Terra some more, or else the story won't really make sense. I forgot that we're new here for a bit. Terra's extremely open to immigration. We offer people a second chance on their soil, to start anew or to escape harm. But once they arrive, they're kind of stuck here. Leaving Terra is impossible. Impossible? That's what makes us special. We're something like a one-way street. Still better than your world, though. I heard that you have no open connections. I'm not sure how you even survive. That's a good question, actually. Anyway, back to the Exodus Project. It was an attempt to open our connection. Velasquez wanted to let our people leave. If the people could come and go as they please, Terra would flourish for an eternity. No more overpopulation or famine. That, and Velasquez could expand. No more would he rule over just Terra. He could rule over the entire galaxy for sure. Of course, it didn't go as planned. One look around could easily tell you that. It was a huge disaster. People died. Either that, or they got stranded in space. Our mother was one of those people. Nexus product. Oh, you can see the thing down there. Velasquez only wanted the smartest on Terra. Unfortunately, they suffered the most. Velasquez wanted only the smartest on Terra. We lost some of our key public figures. But we know that Mom is out there. She'll come back one day. She has to. She was so smart. Phidget explains with pride. She's smart enough to find her way back. I don't care how far she ended up. I'm being patient, and we'll wait forever. Heh. Riley was close to her mom, you could say. He felt responsible for her disappearance, especially since he helped Velasquez out. Velasquez needed to fix his public image. He needed to show people that he cared. There was some heat on him after all this. So he funded the creation of our tavern, and tasked Riley with building it. Around 10 years ago, we weren't here. Wait, so Velasquez was the true owner of the tavern? And he got Riley to build it from the ground up? It's a really impressive feat. I'm stunned. Velasquez wanted to create a landmark. I mean, creating one tavern doesn't solve problems. Anyways, Velasquez wanted to create a landmark. And one of galactic proportions, I mean, so the people knew how to get back home. He wanted the word terror to spread. He wanted everyone to know about the tavern. Eventually, the lost ones would hear of it. Of a tavern? And then the reason would run its pace. That's the reason we've run this place. Well, that one day Mom will come back. Then maybe she'll walk through that door. That's what's keeping us going. I don't know how one tavern could be galaxy renowned, you know? No. Or were they just... Well, they couldn't be scattered just among the pine. With every second, she gets closer. She's gotta be proud of me. She's going to be. I've grown really big since she's left. And I'm actually learning to be good at chores. You're doing great job, Phidget. And that's what I wanted to tell you. Anyways, I don't think Velasquez is up to anything. At least, nothing like Riley believes. At first, the scope of this place was clear, but over time, its reason was lost. Now we're just a plain bar and office. As this happened, Riley changed too. He got less and less interested in waiting. Perhaps he lost hope, assuming Mom was... Hey, don't say that. It's not true. Sorry. So, Riley has a few reasons to hate. But we don't know what the real one is. I try pressing him all the time. But he just says he can't tell me. Something about being a man of honor. But he never leaves the tavern or our side. I think he wants to make it up to us. Even though I forgave him long ago. Man of honor, huh? Riley said it earlier when we were in the cellar. When I asked him why he didn't become an assassin. Could that have to do with all this? The more time we spent here at the tavern, the more he hated King Velasquez. I grew and grew over a long period of time, and that's all there is to it, really. His hatred seems to transcend everything. No matter how good Velasquez has done, much good, and that is a lot of good. I'm sure you can agree with me. I mean, just look at this tavern. Indeed, Velasquez seems like a very nice ruler. He owned up to and corrected his mistakes. Doing something like this is very noble. Definitely a mentality benefiting that of a king. I'm not sure what that would be, mentality benefiting that of a king. But now I'm just convinced even more. One side has an unmatched hatred of Velasquez. Maybe not hatred. I mean, he does say he's unjust, but he seems to be more suspicious. The other side had an unwavering loyalty. It seemed even more impossible to choose a side now. Were Keel and I manipulated? Was Riley and his gang a group of radicals? Or was radicals here? Killing any opposition to Velasquez twisted rein? I guess I would never know until the right time came, and all I could do in my situation is wait and see. As first matters of the past aside, I have my own theory on the future. Whatever it is that makes you special. I think I know what Velasquez wants. He wants to helm another Exodus project. Oh, really? You're being hailed as a savior. I have no doubt in my mind. He used that term in the past as well, before the first Exodus project. He promised that Terra would be saved, and that you'd have a long journey ahead. I guess it's only fitting you came here. The Wayfarer's Tavern, I mean. I hope your journey is swift and safe. I I'd wish that too. Although I did plan a detour. I hope that siding with Riley didn't haunt me. I don't want to make an enemy of Velasquez. Nor do I want an enemy of Endemilion and Conrad. I hope that we'd be able to save Kalen. It pains me to know that he's suffering. I decided to ask PB his thoughts on Lord Phylar. Well, some people don't like immigration. They think it's harming Terra irreparably. Lord Phylar is just one of those men. I can see where he's coming from, but he seeks a total severance. The Exodus Project was even more admirable. Life on an unconnected world? I'm not sure why Phylar wants that. It seems like it would be impossible. No offense, of course. I'm sure they made it work on Earth. None taken. In fact, Terra was odd for me. We just have some major cultural differences. Well, thanks for listening to me anyway. I didn't mean to talk to you for so long. I'll let you get back to your friends. When he says friends, he looks at Emil and Conrad. I smile and thank him for the chat before leaving. I better not tell him who I aligned with myself earlier. Wouldn't want him to spill the beans in that regard. Please save file. As soon as I stood up, I looked toward the assassins. They seemed to be deep in conversation amongst themselves. I'm sure it involves me. I walked towards them. Gah! 41 minutes. I need to keep up appearances. They're gonna want to know what's happened. I was in the cellar for pretty long after all. Riley wouldn't want me to do it, but I had to. After a few months walking, I get to the table. They both look at me swiftly, with a look of worry. I wonder what's on their minds. I wait for them to break their silence. Well, I think that even though it's going to take me forever to go from that save file where I pick just before I pick Riley to here, I'm just going to have to call it and keep in mind on it. So anyways, that's going to be the end of this Let's Play. Woof. So anyways, man, sometimes FaceRig really just rolls with it, you know? It keeps on it. Like, I was having such trouble with it when I was trying to do my first Let's Play of this series. I guess I fixed it by putting something on my chin. So anyways, that's going to be the end of this Let's Play. I need to reset it, though. So, please comment, because I like comments, how much you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise, if you like my YouTube and would like to see it grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos that have it grown. Please remember to spay new animals, help control the pit population. And until next time, let's say, me, GamerWolfSix, of Major Minor. Game that I'm trying to say Winds of Change, which is the one I finished playing like 2 days ago. I had to take a day off to just recuperate. So anyways, thanks and see ya.